What are you doing, Jim? You fucking off?
Yes.
Had to get my fidget thing.
Oh.
I like having. I find I like to have some sort of a thing to fuck with while I'm talking.
I mean, that's why I do this.
You got a pen. I got a really weird looking keychain. What is this thing? I
really
really don't like it. I mean, I know it's got a bottle opener and whatever size that little wrench is, but it doesn't. It's not.
It's kind of a multi-purpose carabiner.
It's bullshit, is what it is.
It's just your fidget toy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Bring us in.
Hi. Welcome to Full Tilt Boogie.
Nerds.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we do. We nerd out here at Game of Axes, West Palm Beach.
Game of Axes.
Game of Axes, West Palm Beach, baby. Look at this. It's fucking beautiful here.
Look at.
Come in, throw some axes. West Palm, Jupiter, Boynton, Boca. What's up?
Don't forget they got a lawn. They got a lawn.
Yeah, we got a little lawn there with all kinds of. We got cornhole and a stump that you hammer nails into and dartboards.
Is that what those are for?
Yes, that's what they're for. We got some video games and pinball machines.
They got new
down
cornhole target things in the wall back there. I don't even know what that is. It's kind of cool. In the last lane.
That's right. I don't even know what that is yet either.
Cornhole wall.
Yes.
Hole. Wall.
Cornwall.
Cornwall.
It's Cornwall.
Cornwall.
It's Cornwallis.
Cornwallis?
Yeah.
Maximus?
Yeah, sure.
This is Full Tilt Boogie.
That's right. It is Full Tilt Boogie. I am Jim Brogan. This is Scott White.
That's me.
That's right. And we've been friends for a million years. So,
Yep.
And we like to talk shit about a lot of pop culture things. So here we go.
It's true. So, I'm going to start off by saying I saw a funny thing today. There's this guy, Travis Fimmel. You may know who he is. He was Ragnar in the Vikings TV series.
Okay, I've heard the name.
And he was in the Warcraft movie.
Okay.
I forget what his character's name was, but
It was called Nobody Saw It.
Yeah. Terrible.
Sorry.
Really bad fucking movie. But
Directed by David Bowie's son.
he is in the new Dune series on Max.
Prophecy.
Yes, which I've heard so far. I haven't heard anything good about it. I heard it's really, really boring. But I mean, it's Dune, so it's going to be boring, but might be a good story.
Oh, no, but the new dudes are so good.
But they are. I saw someone. It was like a TikTok thing, and it was this dude. He's like, did y'all see this? And there's like a picture of him in the Dune trailer. He's like, this motherfucking Ragnar in space. That's all I can see. Ragnar in space. I don't know. It just struck me. I thought that was funny as shit. But
somehow I imagine that actor fits right in. With
he's Australian. I just saw an interview with him and it fucked me up. I was like, "There's Ragnar." He's like, "Oh yeah, all right, blah blah blah." I'm like, "What the fuck?" Sorry to any Australians I may have offended with my terrible accent.
Not trying to offend anybody.
No, I didn't work on my accent, so that's why it's so bad. But whatever. I don't give a fuck.
So that's right. Because that's what we do here at Full Tilt Boogie.
Yeah.
We don't give a fuck.
Australians don't give a fuck either.
No, they don't.
I didn't
That's what makes them cool.
Single fucking person.
I have a friend that I went to elementary and middle school with, and at one point he came into some money and decided that he was going to go to Australia, and he has not come back since. And awesome. Darren, what's up? Like, if you actually are listening,
That's great.
Thanks, man. 1, 2. Eventually, I'm coming out to see you, and I don't know.
Nice.
I can't wait to hang out again. So he's a good dude.
Go fight some kangaroos.
Oh, sure. Sure. I've actually eaten kangaroo before.
Why not? Yeah, why not? What's new with you? How's your cat working out?
Cat's
Brand
okay.
new cat?
Yeah.
New cat?
Yeah. He's coming along. He's figuring out the house. He's figuring out me and Kelly.
Has he attacked you in your sleep yet?
Nope.
No?
No,
That's good.
I haven't gotten a paw in the mouth yet, like while I'm sleeping. Because Peeve, this guy, used to just come and lay on my chest, and it'd be like, like he'd do like the making biscuits thing.
Uh-huh.
And then all of a sudden, like it would stop, and I'd be like, okay, like we're both gonna fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, I have a paw in my mouth. And it just made me laugh. It's disgusting because I know he's like, moving kitty litter and sand, kitty sand and shit aside. And I'm like, please stop putting your paw in my mouth.
Yeah.
But it made me laugh so hard, where it was like, Kelly's just such a light sleeper and all that shit. And like all of a sudden, like I'm just laughing my balls off because a cat's trying to shove his paw in my mouth.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's a cat.
You know, a long time ago, Sony made robot dogs called Aibo.
I remember that.
Remember those?
Yeah.
I always wanted one.
Okay.
I always thought that would be cool, just have a little robot roaming about. And now we are definitely in the robotic age, but everybody's like, it seems like everyone's really focused on creating actual like
Right.
humanoid robots, you know. And you don't see those anymore. I thought it'd be cool to get one and like give it a cool paint job, you know. But apparently they stopped making replacement parts and the right kind of batteries for them and shit. So
that's kind of sad in a way.
It is,
because you kind of sort of like, I don't want to say humanize it, you know, canonize them.
Yeah, but it's like,
and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, they're parts, and it's like, oh, I'm tired.
There was a art installation, I forget where it was, but it was in like an art museum type place, and someone had made this big, it was an arm with a squeegee on the end, and it could go in 360, and it was leaking its fluid. It's hydraulic fluid.
Right.
And in order for it to keep going, it had to squeegee the fluid back to the middle where it would get recycled back in.
Oh, okay.
And it was desperately always trying to squeegee all this fluid back in, and the I guess the leak or whatever got worse. It was part of its design, but it got worse, and eventually it couldn't keep up anymore, and it fucking finally just died. And that was the art of it.
That makes me
watching
sad.
This machine die. I'm like, who the fuck thinks about that?
It might have saved you because it might have just been trying to like scoop back all of that to have enough energy to kill you in your sleep.
Maybe.
So.
I mean, is it really gonna kill you with a squeegee?
No. I mean,
It can only go in a circle.
that could be a good gag in a horror movie.
Yeah.
Some bum with a squeegee just starts killing people with it. Lines it up with razors.
Ooh.
We get honest,
nightmare.
so that's right.
Squeegee
Squeegee nightmare.
So speaking of robots, that was what we call segue in the movie industry, right?
Yes, not the thing that cops ride on around here in West Palm Beach.
Paul Blart.
So that's terrible. Terrible.
I read a thing that was interesting, and there's this lady named Sophie Stewart who claims she originally wrote a book called The Third Eye, and she claims that she came up with the idea of the Matrix movies and the Terminator movies, and she said they're all part of the same universe.
Okay.
Which is really interesting. She said the Terminator movies were the past and the Matrix movies are the future. And like,
Okay, that makes sense. I can see the time.
she says there's some time where John Connor is Neo and or some shit like this. Time travel malarkey. And anyways, she tried to sue Wachowskis, and they were like, no, we came up with that.
Right.
And James Cameron, I don't know, wasn't even in. Obviously, he doesn't have to steal movie ideas.
Yeah.
He's got a pretty good track record.
Yeah, I think so.
So she didn't even show up to the
Like
trial or whatever.
the deposition or
the
whatever?
deposition. Yeah, she didn't even show up. So that was like thrown out. But the balls on this woman to say, I invented the Matrix and the Terminator movies. I mean, like, sure, you made a book, and apparently she wrote this book in the 70s, you know, and
Okay.
I'm like, that's cool.
Because no one's ever written time travel stories before.
Right.
H.G. fucking Wells.
No one's written about robots or anything.
Isaac fucking Asimov.
Exactly. So I thought that was pretty interesting that, you know, just that she would go out on a limb like that and be like, yeah, I invented all that and I'm going to sue them. And they were like, and it just got thrown out basically.
Right, of course.
And, but then you think about the concept and you're like, huh, okay. What if the Terminator movies and Matrix were the same universe?
I dig the concept of it.
It's great because this Terminator is like literally the very beginning. They send him back to prevent the machines from taking over, but then the machines take over.
Yeah.
In the Matrix, the machines have driven everybody
and now
underground.
humans are fuel.
Yeah, and the machines have evolved
Yep.
and adapted. So I
like
that.
the idea of it.
I like that idea. It's pretty fucking cool.
Just give it to Wachowskis or Cameron or James Cameron.
Yeah.
I like to call him Jim.
Yeah.
You know, because we're friends.
Sure.
No, we're not. I hear he's a lot of work to deal with.
But I think that would be fucking cool, like if that was like canon of some sort.
Oh yeah, for
You know
sure,
what I mean?
for sure. Did you read the comic books when you were a kid of the
Terminator
yeah,
comics?
and yeah, but there was a Terminator. What was the? It was Terminator and RoboCop.
Yeah, it was great.
And the technology from RoboCop eventually became like what became the Terminators
Yep.
and stuff like that too.
Yep,
That was
yep.
a cool book.
Yeah, there was also some Terminator versus.
Yes.
There was Terminator. Well, there was Terminator
There was like a
versus
3-1.
RoboCop, and there
Predator?
was.
Was it Predator?
I think it might have been Predator. Yeah, and there was one of Batman, I believe.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Batman fought everybody.
Yeah.
He fought Predator. He fought aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And I think RoboCop was somewhere. Was there a RoboCop Judge Dredd? You would know this better than me.
Yes, I believe there was. Yeah. I like that shit.
Yeah,
the
I know
crossovers
you do.
are
I know
great.
you do.
Oh, so
The first Aliens versus Predator. I think we've talked about this.
we have.
That was king shit. You should just follow that. Anyway, we already talked about that.
Talking about things that we've already talked about. Last time we were on, I brought up how about there's like 3,000 billionaires, and almost 3,000 billionaires on the planet. And the guy that's talking about it, he's like, so there's almost 3 billion or 3,000 billionaires, and not one Batman.
We're missing something.
Yeah, what are you guys doing with all them billions? Someone please be a Batman.
Like not a cosplayer, an actual Batman.
Actual
we want you to
Batman.
fight crime.
Yes, and he can fight Terminators
Yeah.
or the aliens that are among us and living in our.
Did you ever
oceans.
see that YouTube clip that this guy made on like sets of I can't remember, but it's Batman, and then he has some interaction with the Joker, and by the end of it, like
And the Predator
the
shows
Predators
up.
and the
Yes.
aliens show up.
Yes.
It's really well done.
It's really well done. Yeah, it's like a fan film.
And the kid that played Joker was the kid that played Boner on Growing Pains.
No shit.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Like, it's good to get work, man. It's good to get work.
That's awesome. Huh. Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the Terminator franchise.
Oh, okay. So let's rank this because I'm gonna blow your mind a little bit.
Okay.
So, 2 over 1. Let's get that out of the way first. That one's easy.
2.
You like 2 better.
I like 2 better.
Okay. I think I do too.
For various reasons. There was a problem I had with 3. Should I say, or should we'll get to it?
Go for it.
When they had the chick, the Terminator chick, and that was in 3.
Yes, Christina Locken.
It's like, okay, well they can look exactly like humans. So
Right.
it's like that kind of, I don't know, I think to some people that's more scary, but to me it's not as scary because they humanized it. Which, I mean, I suppose they humanized it in the originals because it looks like a human, but then you
Right.
see the robot, but then it was the liquid metal thing. I was like, okay, like it's cool that it can change and shape and go through fences and get shot and go bloop, and I like that.
But you got to find a way to defeat it, and it almost seems like impossible.
It's almost impossible. It's too slick, And then when it's like she could just change like what she's wearing or whatever and stuff. I'm like, okay, like I don't know. I find machines more scary.
Yeah. I do like the fact that T3 sticks the landing and just nukes everything.
Yeah.
Like that was a bold choice.
I'm not saying
to
I
pull,
didn't
so.
like any of them. I love them all. Like, fantastic trilogy. But,
How do you feel about Salvation? See, to me, that's T3. Like, that's the one that, like, if you have Terminator 1, Terminator 2, and then if you had Terminator 3, that's how you circle everything back together again.
I just like the initial, honestly, the initial 2. Those are my favorites.
I mean,
out of the
there's
gate.
no question about it.
And then I feel like it just fucking fell off. It just fell off. Like, for me, like, I've watched them all, but I don't know. They all seem to be, like, reaching. Because I think it's amplified because the first 2 were so good.
Yeah. And you actually
Like,
kind of closed the door
That's
on...
the bars up here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're all coming in at entry level. There was cool shit in all of them, but not as cool as the originals.
No.
You know, the original.
But like I said, you had like a two movie thing, and then you close the door on it, so like it's done.
Yeah.
So like I never like get really super upset about like the sequels to it, just because I was like, you already have like perfect two movies that perfectly connect together. Here's my hot take: Terminator Genesis. I don't hate it.
Really?
It's like someone wrote fan fiction in an alternate timeline.
Okay.
I don't hate it, and I know that usually ranks at the bottom of everyone's list.
Interesting.
And a lot of people like Was it Dark World? What was the one that they brought?
Dark Fate.
Dark Fate. I hated that one.
Yeah,
it's the only one I actively dislike. It's the only one.
I mean, it's too bad they can't do a crossover with like
Are you kidding me?
Predator or something. That would be dope.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Or Batman or
RoboCop.
RoboCop.
Like do that storyline where it's like the RoboCop technology is the thing that like Cyberdyne
that would be cool as
Systems
fuck.
eventually built.
By the way, fuck that other RoboCop movie.
Oh, the one with Joel Kinnaman?
Yes. Awful.
I can't even remember it.
It's terrible. The guy's just wearing a motorcycle suit. Like, and I mean,
that's true.
First RoboCop movie's one of the best
So good.
cheese movies like ever. Just so much, you know, tongue-in-cheek humor and
Satirical.
fucking gore.
It's very satirical.
Like,
have you seen the X-rated version of it?
Yes.
Holy shit!
Did you see the there's a fan like edit of the alleyway rape scene where like he shoots the guy in the dick, and then like a bunch of other people come out and he's shooting everybody in the dick. Like, and it goes on for like 5 minutes of him just shooting people in the dick. It's hilarious, man. It's fucking great, man.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's super good. I'll find it. I'll show it to you.
Yes, please.
It's great.
Oh my god. What's next? What do we got?
What do you got?
Okay, so like so last episode we talked about we might do some versus things. So
We were just talking about RoboCop versus.
I mean, yeah. Well,
whatever.
I mean that's a good segue.
Movie stuff.
So when you get everybody when you talk about the Star Wars trilogy,
Okay. First, the original trilogy.
correct,
Okay,
because that's really most important.
that's all that matters.
You have Star Wars, you have Empire, you have Jedi. Are you ranking Empire as your number one?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. It's the best one.
Why? Why do you?
Why do I? I like all the locations. I like all the bounty hunters.
See, that's not the answer that you would normally get. The locations. I like that.
The locations are great, and then they just copied that shit in later movies. It's like, ooh, let's do a all white planet. Oh, but it's not snow. It's
Right.
salt. Fuck off.
That's true.
But
Plus, they tell you in it too, where the guy like dips his finger and he's like, "Salt." I don't
So
need
dumb.
that. You don't need that.
Can you spoon feed that to me,
Yeah.
please? But no, I mean, Empire is just like it was. I feel like all three of those movies were pretty much shot the same, like quality-wise. Like the quality was consistent throughout that trilogy. But I think that the actual the mood of Empire was, I don't know, it just appealed to me more. It was darker, it was desperate. And,
Good word. I'm glad I asked you this. Actually. Really?
It was that whole movie is desperate. It's just got gravity, man. It's got a lot of weight to it, and he wrote it knowing it wasn't the last movie, so it's like there wasn't a rush to wrap it up at the end.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like it's literally like a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I mean, you had to wait 3 years.
Yeah.
And that was torture if you're a little kid.
Yeah.
Dealing with that, because we were like, I mean, like I don't know if you remember, like if you remember, like I do, but it was just sort of like Darth Vader's lying. It's not his father. It's not his father. He's lying. Like, where's the twist?
He's trying to
gonna
trick
come?
him.
Yeah, and you had to wait 3 years for that too.
Yeah.
I also remember my friend Ryan and we lived in Toms River, New Jersey, and we went to see Return of the Jedi on opening night at the Ocean County Mall, and we actually got in the newspaper for it. They interviewed us
Okay.
because our parents just dropped us off. So they dropped off like two 11-year-old kids
Right.
at the theater, just like waiting to get in, and that was also. I can't remember if I talked about. Did we talk about like best, like going to the movie theater experience? Did we talk about that?
No.
Okay, that's coming up. But that was amazing because we all stood up in our seats and shit, like when Darth Vader threw the Emperor down the shaft. I'm serious. It was like a rock concert.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And I'm going to repeat myself on this again later. So like, because I like this idea that I just came up with.
Write it down.
Yeah. I will later. But for me, Jedi is it's Super Bowl Sunday of the Star Wars movies. And that's why that stands out. And it still is one of my favorite movies of all time. And fuck you if you don't like Ewoks. They're fine. They're rodents that killed people with
savage.
extreme prejudice. Thank you. He gets it.
Yeah.
And I also got like this thing too. Like I reinterpreted it. When I went to go visit my mom and my stepdad, we were watching Return of the Jedi. I hadn't watched it. I hadn't actually like watched it from like top to bottom.
Can I pause you
Sure,
for a second?
of course you can.
Speaking of Ewoks.
I saw your like brain, like I saw the light bulb go off in your head.
So speaking of Ewoks, you know they capture Princess Leia, and then they bring in 3PO, and they bring in Han, you know, and she comes out in a white dress. It's like, whose dress is that?
Oh yeah.
Who did they fucking eat and keep her clothes?
Yeah, she wasn't in white. No, she wasn't in white. She was in like brown.
Right. But
whose clothes were those?
It wasn't an Ewok's clothes.
And they fit her just right.
Weird.
Did they eat the last person that was wearing those clothes?
Mm-hmm. They did.
Savage.
Because they're little savages.
Yeah. They're not that cute. They're not that cute.
All right, continue.
But the whole thing was, and I guess it's in perspective of the sequel trilogy that had come out, that they sort of, I mean, obviously it's a character assassination. In my opinion, it's a character assassination of what they did to Luke, following like the Jedi dogma of the prequels and all of that shit. Mm-hmm. Because if you watch Return of the Jedi, he's in black, and he's a bad motherfucker. Yeah. And he is also killing people indiscriminately. Not indiscriminately. I mean, he has a reason to kill them because he's defending his friends.
Yeah.
But like, what they did was like they sort of like took his. In the sequels, they took it back to how the prequels were, where it was just very like monkish and safe and stupid. When it was like, you feel like, especially by the end of Jedi, that like Gray Jedi, because he does kind of let it. I mean, his emotions is how he beat Darth Vader.
He goes into the dark side.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then he's like, okay, like take a breath, calm down. You know what I mean? And
because he can balance it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why the books are so good, the ones that came out in the early 90s, because he gets married, he ignores all of the bullshit of that sort of religious fundamentalism.
That idealism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and it should be. It's flawed. It's flawed.
If you watch the movies, especially like the prequels, and you see how fucked up the Jedi are. Like I root for the Sith, because it's like the Jedi are fucked up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there are this council of people that think they're above board on everything, and they have the last decision.
They don't mind just slaughtering people. And it was funny. I saw a meme the other day. It was a picture of Obi-Wan and Anakin when Anakin was a kid, and it's like Anakin says, "Thank you, Obi-Wan. You freed me. I'm not a slave anymore." And he's like,
"Call me master."
He's like, "You can call me master now." That's fucking great.
Yeah, it's true.
Call me master. I think that the Sith is like, I don't know. People are like, oh, they're evil. There's two of them. I'm like, yeah, but there's like hundreds of Jedi just out there fucking people up.
Yeah, that just seemed like the corporate government of that are ruling things and unbending on the rules.
Fucking brown coats.
The one thing like if we get on the clothing thing too, that's another thing that just pisses me off. It's like, oh, all right, so like it's got to be a callback to like when you get to the prequels, it's got to be like a callback. So they're all wearing like brown and tan robes and shit like that. And it was like, no, that's what they wore on Tatooine because it's
Desert
to protect them
colors.
from the sun and then keep them warm when when the 3 suns go down. Like it had a utilitarian sort of use to it.
Right.
What they should have done when they made the prequels was, at least if you were gonna do a callback kind of thing, is do what Luke was in that black outfit.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't need to be wearing robes. They should have wore something that was like tight fitting, not tight fitting.
Utilitarian.
Yeah. Like this is my uniform. This is my badass outfit.
Yeah.
So I think they made a really big mistake, just costuming wise, with the prequels. So I mean, at least Kylo Ren was in black, like Luke was. So,
Yeah. But it was funny, like when Jedi came out, and like, you know, at that point where you see him wearing all black, you're like, I remember, like, in
you're like, bad motherfucker.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, he ain't wearing no brown robes.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
then he does this shit to the Gamorrean guards and stuff like that too. It's
I'm
like,
oh,
nothing.
fuck.
Yeah, fuck around and find out. That. How did we lose that? Like, how did you make the sequels to all of that? Like, you know, 25, 30 years later and stuff, and you like lost all of that. And that's one of the things that that's why I stand by Jedi. It's just sort of like you saw this evolution of this like innocent farm boy to a guy who was like really struggling with balancing his friends and his dedication to this religion, and then go into this thing where it's like, do not fuck around with Luke. That's
no. And
the progress of character is amazing.
In the actual story, like after Jedi, he got even more powerful.
Oh yeah.
You know, like like crazy powerful.
If Steve Hussey's watching this, he's pulling his hair out, wishing he was here right now. He read all the books multiple times and stuff like that too.
Let's just pull a fucking Star Destroyer off, you know, out of orbit.
Yeah,
you can do it.
Well, I mean, did you ever play Force Unleashed?
Yes.
Like that whole scene where you have to like move it.
When I did it, like I actually thought I'm like this could totally be Luke fucking doing this because he was that powerful. Yeah.
And that was the hardest part of the game.
That game was great. Yeah,
it was. It was a button masher, but like the storyline was so cool.
Yeah.
And I love the guy that did the mocap for Starkiller.
Mm-hmm.
He's huge. He's huge into Star Wars. I've seen him play Star Wars trivia games, and he crushes.
And he does voice.
He does Darth Maul, and he did the Emperor before Ian McDermott came back.
Yeah.
So, and he did the voice for Maul in the Solo movie too.
Oh, okay.
Like he is the voice of Maul now. So.
Yeah. I really liked Luke in the what they did with Luke in the Mandalorian. You know,
that's what we've been waiting for.
Arriving there, just kicking wholesale ass.
Oh yeah.
You know, that was fun. I think that like, what was the era that was in? That was post Jedi, right?
5 years after Jedi.
5 years after Jedi. Yeah.
And we've been waiting for that since 1983 to see Luke in that sort of thing. And that scene itself is kind of an homage to Rogue One with Darth Vader, like fucking guys up down the hallway and shit. So like you kind of had that same thing with Luke, and I mean just like that's like that bad motherfucker that you wanted to see. Yeah.
I just saw a video where someone put "For Whom the Bell Tolls" with that Darth Vader scene.
I've seen that scene.
It's like da 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 da. That's when his lightsaber opens. You're just like, fuck.
Can I tell you?
Cool.
So I remember. I feel like we talked about this, but I might have just talked about it before. But like, I will tell you this. I had no idea that he was going to be on there. The internet did not spoil it for me. Like, I did not know Luke was going to be in the episode. Spoiler alert. It was going to be in the last episode. I mean, it's fucking 2 years ago now. Yeah. So, but like, or 3. But like, I didn't know that he was going to be in the last episode of The Mandalorian. So I decided.
When you saw the X-wing coming in on the screen.
Wait.
Did you shit your pants?
I'm going to get to that.
I shit my pants.
I decided that I was going to watch season 2, episode. Like, I guess there was 8. I think there was 8 in the season. So I was going to watch all of it and then watch
in order.
And then but then I was going to watch season the last episode 8, brand new. So I just refreshed myself on that too.
That's cool.
So the thing happens where you see the X-wing come in, and it just didn't quite register for me, other than like they're like, oh, one X-wing pilot, great, we're safe,
right,
whatever. And then they were really smart in this sense that they just showed like somebody in a robe in black and white on those monitors, and then the lightsaber went off, and I'm like this. I was like, oh shit! Oh shit! Come on! Come on! I did not sit that entire sequence. I did not sit that entire sequence. God. I was nerd bonering all over that show. I was freaking out.
Yep. Yeah.
And I got a call. They were like, "Hey, come on out, come on out." And I go, "I am not going anywhere right now because I had some drinks. I was chilling out.
You're like, I'm freaking out.
I was by myself, and I just Star Wars the fuck out of myself. It was amazing, amazing.
Yep, yep. There was a guy who took some of the Star Wars CG footage and did it better. Just a dude, just
he got hired.
Somebody, and he got hired by Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
That's cool as shit.
Yeah, it is cool.
That's how you get a job.
I mean, because a lot of people thought like Luke looked a little uncanny valley.
Yeah, he looked a little weird, but you know,
but like he improved it, and I mean, he did a good job. So I mean, Luke looked great in it was Book of Boba Fett. I want to say it was The Mandalorian because it was the 2 episodes that were strictly The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
but
it's when Book of Boba Fett was just failing miserably, and they're like, "Let's bring Luke." Let's save this.
And let's give 2 episodes to The Mandalorian for no reason.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine you're that guy that got hired to play Boba Fett, and it's like, oh, I'm getting work, and it's awesome.
We want you to sit there and not talk. What?
For 2 episodes of 8.
Fuck. What?
Sorry.
He was actually pissed. Like he's like next. If there's a next season, he's like, I want to kick more ass. He's like, I don't like to stand around talking.
Okay, so we were talking about fake trailers in the last episode, and one of the things that we were looking at was Book of Boba Fett Season 2, which, by the way, isn't on deck. And my thing is I thought they sort of pussified Boba Fett.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you how you rectify this. Because I wanted Breaking Bad Star Wars.
The first 2 episodes were so exciting.
Yes.
So exciting. And then it just fell to shit.
Yeah.
So how do you rectify it?
This is how you rectify. Again, like I said, I want it to be Breaking Bad, Boba Fett. If he's going to be on Tatooine and be the head of the gangsters and all that shit, you have him sitting at the table, like Don Corleone, right?
Yeah. Like
he's the boss. He's the boss, and then you zoom back, so you have a close up of him, and then you zoom back, and all of his capos are Bosk. IG-88.
I was picturing that before you said it.
Yeah, I could see it on your face.
Forlom standing there. Yeah.
Zuckus.
Yep.
And I'm missing one. I said Bosk, right? Just
Bosk.
all those bounty hunters that you see, and now you're ready to make Boba Fett Book of Breaking Bad.
Call it the Bounty Planet. Like change the name of it. That would be fucking dope.
Sure. And it's all rectified. Like you don't have to ignore anything from season 1. You just go. I've been sitting around at this table, and it's time to stop fucking around, guys.
Yeah.
Like
that would be dope.
Now we got to put the screws to it a little bit.
That'd be cool.
And I think everyone will forgive that show. I did like the last episode of that show just because it turned into Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, and that's my favorite Western of all time.
I liked him riding around on a Rancor.
Yeah.
That was dope. That was cool. The Vespa scooter fucking bullshit. Not cool. Not cool at all. It's going to take a lot to repair.
And everybody that was like in opposition of him was just like, "Hey, come work for me."
Yeah.
No, fuck them up.
No, take them out.
Yeah, I'm gonna blast you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to take a lot for them to fix that. Cause
I don't think they're going to.
Because that's such a great character. But yeah, I'm not if Disney's in charge.
And it's the same thing too. It's like, they punked him in Return of the Jedi, but like, we all had his action figure when you bought it through the mail after he was in Empire Strikes Back or before Empire Strikes Back, and in our imaginations, we're like, this guy's.
He's the most fearsome bounty hunter in the galaxy.
Ruthless. It was always ruthless. That was always on like the baseball cards and stuff like that too. Yep. And I was like, we played with this action figure for so long, and I was like, so when he made his first appearance back in that was also the second season of The Mandalorian. Man, that was fucking good. Like he just went in there and like fuck those stormtroopers up, and I was like, okay, this is a Boba Fett we've been waiting to see since our kid, because our child imagination brains was like,
just like
this is
he's
what we
brutal.
pictured him doing.
He's brutal.
And the best fucking scene is the stinger at the end of it, where he walks into where Jabba's palace. Bib Fortuna's there, big and fat shit, and he just
shoots him in the face.
He blasts him and he tosses him off the stage like a piece of shit.
That's great.
And he's like, "Fuck this fucking guy."
Yeah.
It was so good, and then we got this, and then they nerfed him.
Yep. Yep. Fucking lame. In the books, I read, all of the novels like back in the day. Well, there was one called Tales of the Bounty Hunters. Did you read that one?
I didn't read it, but I know of it. I know.
Well, they talk about after he leaves Cloud City, and he's going back to Tatooine. IG-88. Someone had put a transmitter on Slave One.
Because they were all trying to steal Han, right?
Yeah. And by the way, his ship is named Slave One.
Not Fire Spray.
Yeah, and so IG-88 tracked him. IG-88 tried to get there first and sabotage a different IG unit, and that was the one that you saw in pieces where the Ugnaughts were. They're tossing 3PO's head.
Love it. I love it.
That one had gotten there, and he dispatched that one. Okay, and then after he got Han and he left, the other one pursued him, tracked him, pursued him, was blasting the shit out of him, and he came out of hyperspace just above Tatooine, and IG-88 was right behind him. So as the story goes, he put all of the power of Slave One into the they're both hauling ass at the planet. And he puts all of the power into reverse thrusters and stops. And IG-88 flies past him and he blasts him. And then Slave One's burnt out. It's fucking can barely fly at all. And he manages to limp to the surface to get Han to Jabba. And that's why at the beginning of Return of the Jedi, he's still on Tatooine. Because the ship is getting
clever.
Fixed, and he's just been hanging out at Jabba's palace because he got the prize.
I love it. That's great. See, I mean, that's somebody paying attention to detail, like just such minutia.
It's like it's cool when people write that stuff to fill things in, because you're like, oh, that's why that IG unit was in that room in pieces. Yeah. And this is why he's still there at the beginning of Jedi.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah, super cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, and then you sell your shit to Disney, and they're like, none of that is canon. Fuck you.
There's, I mean, all those good ideas and that, like those tiny bits of ideas and stuff like that, like to not mine all of that. I mean, it's there for you. You own it now.
No brainer.
You own it.
No brainer.
Dumb, stupid. Makes me so fucking mad. Ugh. Anyway,
I think it would be really funny if. I mean, Star Wars is now in the tank. It's practically a dead property. So what if?
Who would have ever thought that would ever happen?
It wouldn't be cool if Disney decided to sell the property and George Lucas bought it back. That would be awesome.
And what's funny about that is that everyone would cheer when everybody hated the prequels so much, and it's like, yeah, you know what? We were wrong. Like, he might have made some fucked up movies that we don't care for, but it's like it's now in the right hands. I mean, I could talk about the inside politics of all that shit too, till I'm blue in the face. Listen, there's still been some good Star Wars. I mean, I love how the Clone Wars ended. I love Rebels.
Rebels was fantastic.
The first 2 seasons of Mandalorian were amazing. I watched the first episode of Skeleton Crew.
Did you?
Yeah. Did you watch it?
No.
I guess you didn't.
I canceled my Disney subscription.
It's here's what's interesting about it, and I like the first episode because it's kind of like Goonies meets Star Wars. It's a bunch of little kids that are discovering stuff.
Turned me off to it.
I can understand that, but because I didn't love it, but I liked it enough that it's not focused around anything that we're already familiar with. These are all new characters that have nothing to do with Luke Skywalker or Boba Fett or Darth Vader or any of that
Jedi.
Shit. They're basically on this treasure hunt. So and on their planet, it looks more like suburban '80s Earth, except they're in there's starships obviously, but it's almost it's not like land speeders or anything like that. It's kind of like they have cars. They have cars on streets.
Huh.
And it's nice.
I already don't like it.
All right, then I'm not going to recommend it to you.
But no, I mean, I love seeing stuff from the Star Wars universe. Like no matter what, like I love the imagery of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I might check it out when I have the opportunity. Like I said, I got rid of Disney. I was just like, this is my boycott. You know,
I get it.
They
I
fucked
totally
everything
get
up
it.
so bad. So, you know, fuck them.
I mean, they're not getting anything off of fucking like they were supposed to make, which was a stupid idea anyway, like a Rey movie, a movie about Rey, Skywalker. It's Palpatine.
I thought it'd be funny if she was a Kenobi. That would have been great.
Oh, I thought that would have been awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
we talked about that before.
Yeah.
And it would have been.
That would have been much better, honestly.
But,
if you're gonna like tie all that shit together.
I forget which episode we talked about that in, but you should go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's close this out.
Okay, cool.
And
we're gonna go eat.
Next episode, we're both like, you can hear our stomachs. Next episode, we're gonna have some verses. We're gonna do verses. We're gonna put our brains to it though. Come up with some good shit.
Feel free to comment if you got somebody versus somebody. It could be musicians, actors, characters.
Yeah, no sports references because we won't get them.
Nope.
But even if it's like, characters. Like, it could be the same actor.
Just Darth Vader versus RoboCop.
Yeah, or
I actually like that.
Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator versus Commando.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, more of that next time.
That's right.
We're out. See you guys.